I think a little bit, but we were trying some different coverages and things that we haven't worked on a ton, and that can take some energy as well to execute those. And so they shot it well in the first half, and we were kind of in scramble mode a lot of times, and so that's going to take some extra energy. But yeah, you could say a little bit of that, but didn't love our competitiveness when we came out in third quarter. And you got to be better than that. Obviously down 10 or 12 at halftime, still in striking range, and got ugly pretty quick from there.
What allowed Jalen to get going in the third quarter the way he did?
Jalen, I think they just we turned it over some. They got out on the break, and I think just like I said, our lack of competitiveness at times. I said that to the group is like there can be schemes, there can be coverages and things like that, and where you just got to guard and start with the competitiveness and effort. And so us not getting matched up, us turn the ball over a little bit, and them getting out and get some easy breaks. But I think we did a better job showing in bodies in the first half, and like I said, it got ugly pretty quickly in the third quarter.
How do you think Dillon looked his first game back?
It was good. I'm happy with how he looked, and it was good to knock the rust off and get ready for the rest of this road trip. And wanted to play him extended minutes a little bit, even when it got out of hand, and just to get him ready for the Philly and New York game.
What were the coverage tweaks that you talked about?
Just showing more of a corral for Jason, more bodies on Jason and Jalen early. Porzingis mixing in pops and rolls, so we can kind of rotate from there. I think our rotations were really slow in the first half, and like I said, it does take a lot more effort to do that. And but our rotations were slow behind it, and allowed them to get some early threes off.
The threes allowed have been trending up for a little while, not to this degree, but is there something that you're seeing that isn't the way it was earlier, or that has led to this kind of change?
Yeah, no Dillon, no Tari.
So what do you do? Now you got one back, but is that
get everybody.
fix it?
Yeah, that's a big part of it, and they're two of our elite defenders. But in general, there has been some slippage, I think, with us pursuing and getting over the top, which we did an excellent job of early, and then Alperen, bringing him up to the level, and he was really good at the start of the season, and that dissipates little by little. So we got to continue to, when we can, practice that and remind guys, because young guys tend to slip back into some old habits, and so. The practice time is good, the film sessions are good, but we got to execute it when game time comes.
Speaking of Sengun, in a bigger picture sense, what did you know of him or think of him before you got to Eason? What has he shown you over the first 2 or 3 months of the season?
I knew he's a skilled big that can do a lot of different things, passing-wise, scoring from different places, initiating offense. Got to learn a little bit more when I dug into the process of the interview process and watched him a lot more. And so I'm extremely happy with how he's been. And like I said, he had a big jump on the defensive end to start the season. But offensively, he's kind of what I thought he was. And I would say one of the premier low-post scorers in the league, and surprising with some of the things he can do and the amount of times he has an advantage on a night-to-night basis. So I'm very happy with how he's been all year.
What stood out to you about some of the new elements on the Celtics, like Porzingis, Holiday, the way they're able to enhance, what they do on the other side?
Yeah, he fits into what they're trying to do on the offensive end. He's somewhat of a deterrent down there. From the size perspective, I think you can get into his body a little bit there, and so I think he's trying to buy into the defense and be an anchor there, but obviously fits into what they're doing offensively and with the spacing and shooting ability.
What was the experience like coaching against your former team and so many of the guys that you coached before, Jalen, Jason, just trying to slow that group?
Yeah, it's what I saw for a year anyway. The way they are talented and can score and play. I didn't love our physicality and understanding how we made them a little bit too comfortable, and a lot of those walk-in shots were just uncontested. And so, knowing that you want to try to break their rhythm, be a little more physical with them, I would have loved for people to guard them the way we guard them tonight when I was here.
Hey man, are you glad this game's over with?
It doesn't matter to me at all.
And is there any advantage you face them again next Sunday? Will this use as motivation, or will you do mix some different things up?
Yeah, I think there will be some. I know, just having guys back, we'll see about Tari, but even Dillon back and a little more comfortable in the rhythm himself. But it was a tough one coming off the Detroit game, playing guys 40 minutes. We had to fight and scrap for that one. And when you're playing Fred and certain guys that many, it's going to be you're going to be a little more tired tonight. So although we have them on the second night of a back-to-back as well, when they come to Houston, should be a little more fresher with the days off leading into it.
Jalen's chasing the ball out of bounds. He runs into you, kind of gives you a hug. What was that like? What was the on-court kind of banter? You do talk on the court?
Yeah, no, it's guys. Like I said, it's not my first time seeing them. You know, we were around each other. Everybody's in LA in the summer, and like I mentioned, the weddings and this and that. But I was just catching him, honestly, more than a hug. He's a strong guy.
You mentioned that there wasn't time to put in the defensive adjustments you wanted. You got another game in like 36 hours. Is it appropriate time to schedule with a back-to-back followed by a day game?
I mean, it's tough, obviously, and everybody has to go through it. They just went through it with the overtime game against Minnesota. They had to go to Milwaukee. So, you know, we had a lighter schedule with a lot of days off where we could get practice time in earlier in the season, and now it's kind of catching up to us as far as, you know, 3 and 4 nights in the back-to-backs. But it is what it is. Everybody goes through it. I think it kind of balances out. And for us, it's, you know, it's getting a full day of rest, 36 hours or whatever, and kind of getting back on track. I think Fred and certain guys will feel better, it was a tough turnaround from yesterday, and at times you think about resting guys and looking at the big picture, but they're a very, very competitive group, and they all want to play.
When you say a lack of competitiveness or a lack of physicality, how do you address and kind of fix those things, going forward, going into the next game?
Yeah, it's understanding personnel and game plan. We dig in heavily to personnel, and we say certain guys need space or want this rhythm and this and that, and then we're doing the opposite and falling under the three-point line on guys that shoot a lot of three-pointers. It's, a lack of attention to detail and just physicality that we need to have on a night-to-night basis, which is what got us to where we were early in the season.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.